GameSHOUT Radio is property of GameSHOUT, a company of Red Planet LLC. All rights reserved. Executive producer, Andy Hodges. For live broadcast booking information, syndication, or advertising, email info@GameSHOUT.com. All comments expressed on the show are not necessarily those of GameSHOUT, Red Planet LLC, its advertisers, guests, or syndication affiliates. All music is licensed by ASCAP and BMI. Recordings of this broadcast prohibited without prior written consent.
And welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. Oh boy, this is Packet Players Mobile Edition with your host, Captain Maverick.
Thank you, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have you with us today. This is Captain Maverick, your host for the Pocket Players Mobile Edition, and sitting over across the window from me is my old buddy Josh. Josh is going to give us his review. Hey, oh, sorry, yep, say hey.
Hi.
Yeah, Josh just woke up, so you have to bear with him. He's going to bring us a review of Prince of Persia 3 for the mobile. That's Prince of Persia 2 Thrones. Very, very interesting. Looking forward to getting to that. But first, as is our wont, we'll jump into the news. Well, Sony has announced that it's going to be releasing 3 new models of its ultra-small memory cards. The memory cards are going to work with its new line of Sony Ericsson phones. The new Memory Stick Micro, it's dubbed M2, it'll come in 3 flavors: 256 meg, 512, and a 1 gigabyte for your big ones. Yeah. At a quarter the size of its Memory Stick Pro Duo, Sony announced that it's going to be designing an adapter so that consumers can use the new M2 on older models. Now, pricing on the M2 is going to be similar to the current pricing for the Memory Stick Pro Duo. Look for the 256 and the 512 and the M2s in March and the 1 gig version in May of this year. Ooh, old gig. Oh, yeah. I love memory. You can never have enough memory. Well, Namco Networks, a leading publisher and developer of wireless games and content, today announced that the arcade favorite Time Crisis is now going to be available on mobile phones nationwide. The same thrilling action that you got with the Time Crisis series at the arcade is now available on your mobile phone for on the go. Now, Namco Networks is dedicated to making sure that your mobile games are faithful to the original console and the arcade versions. And they believe that fans will agree that Time Crisis Mobile maintains the potent pace and the excitement of the arcade original. The safety of the world is at stake, and time is running out as players dodge enemy fire and clear the compound of enemy targets in the story mode, or play the mini-missions in a crisis mission mode. 3D action and multiple enemy targets and unlockable missions make this fast-paced duck and reload shooter the most visceral shooting game on your phone. Now, Time Crisis Mobile uses a smart control scheme to bring the arcade experience to the handsets. In fact, the production comes together very well with an extra content in the crisis missions as well as the story mode. That's no pushover either. Well, in other news, the Commodore Gaming Online is going to outline its vision at the mobile games market at the 3GSM, the mobile conference in Barcelona. It's announced that the Telco Games is its preferred supplier of mobile game content. In Commodore Gaming, the new mobile, PC, and video game joint venture between Commodore International Corporation and the Content Factory is prepared to roll out a line of digital content touchscreen media towers in mobile phone and game retailers across Europe starting in 2006. The plan is to open new channels for delivering digital media content, which can include video, music, games, business applications for mobile phones, and handset devices. The mobile games market is really set to grow about $1.7 billion industry in 2005 and almost $7 billion by 2010. Such a rapid evolution in the market will inevitably create opportunities for innovative and responsive companies that are willing to push the existing boundaries and bring mobile games to the attention of the mass market at a retail level. Now, they believe that the revolution in handheld media devices, which includes the new generation mobile phones, is demand a variety of simple and user-friendly ways for consumers to download content. Mobile phones really have inherent difficulties in the way content can be searched and discovered by users. So they may be offering this content in retail stores on a 17-inch touch screen. Will educate and encourage consumers to try mobile games as well as their different types of other content. The slimline brushed aluminum media tower, it's going to enable consumers to download mobile games directly to their mobile phones by way of Bluetooth, media card, or USB. It's kind of an interesting concept. I kind of like that idea. The retail channel and the potential to accelerate the growth of mobile games market and signing this deal with Telco Games means that they're going to be able to deliver an extensive catalog of quality content in what appears to be a long-term and mutually beneficial partnership. Well, on the other side of the world in Yahoo territory, yeah, that's right, AT&T and Yahoo Go mobile services, part of the Yahoo Go brand, the internet media company's push to make its services available to users in a variety of devices from mobile phones to televisions. The phone also includes an MP3 music player and a digital voice recorder. Yep, Go Mobile, which will be available on the Nokia 6682 mobile phone, will be sold online at AT&T's 13-state service area and at some singular wireless stores in Austin, Texas, Columbus, Ohio, and Los Angeles. And I know, Josh, you've always wanted to do this, but, well, I don't know if others have. You ever wanted to be a cowgirl? Well, now you can be a cowgirl on your mobile phone, Josh. Enteride released Cowgirl. It's a dynamic game suited for all ages. It has brilliant graphics and quality sound and unique gameplay experience playing as a cowgirl or a cowboy. You have to catch different kinds of prizes with your lasso. You lasso cows and horses and cash bags and bonuses, and once an item's captured, it's converted into money. Besides, there are useless items such as bombs and cactuses you should avoid by all means. Now also, mind the time. It's very limited. The game employs a picturesque 16-bit graphic quality sound effects and some pretty fun music. The whole gaming process is easily controlled with only one hand. I like that. One hand, one hard button. Yet it does leave enough room for a variety of tactics and decisions. The advanced high scores table will allow you to compete with either friends or players from all parts of the world by way of the internet. It's going to be available on all Pocket PC and Windows Mobile 2003 handsets. Looks like a blast. You want to be a cowgirl, Josh?
I'll pass, thank you. That, of all the things that I wanted to be when I was a kid, like a fire truck and a police officer, cowgirl definitely did not make my list of things that I wanted to be.
Well, I know what you really want to be. He wants to be the Prince of Persia with 2 thrones. And he'll tell you all about it when we get back right after this.
You're listening to GameSHOUT Radio. Hey, you a big PSP fan? Then you'll love GameSHOUT. We've got a Pocket Players PSP Edition mini podcast that'll be right up your alley. And hey, you can even load it up on your PSP so you can listen to PSP coverage on the go. Want to stay up to date on PSP affairs? We got you covered. Want to hear how a game is before you buy it? We got that. Want to hear about new games coming out soon? That's our specialty. So be sure to find out more about the games, news, previews, and reviews that matter from the only gaming site that matters, GameSHOUT.com.
You're listening to GameSHOUT Radio and the Pocket Players Mobile Edition. And we're going to jump right into Josh's review of Prince of Persia 2 Thrones.
2 fugitive princes. One wants to free his people. The other to dominate them. One seeks justice. The other seeks power. The trouble is, they're the same man. One warrior, 2 souls. Prince of Persia, The 2 Thrones. Available December 1st. Rated M for mature.
Well, Mav was right. If there's anything I do want to be when I grow up, I guess, is the Prince of Persia. Because the Prince of Persia gets to shack up with some mighty fair maidens, if I do say so myself. The kind of maidens that you'd only assume are rather chilly on a cold Persian night due to the excessive lack of clothing that they have on. However, that's not the point of my review. The point of my review is the Prince of Persia 2 Thrones has finally hit to the cell phones. And wow, actually, I've got to, from playing the past Prince of Persias on the cell phone, Warrior Within, this is where it picks up right after. 2 Thrones is actually a very, very good sequel to this game. You pick up as the prince who's come back to find that he's got to yet again, kill the vizier and save his people and blah 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 blah. It's really hard to follow a story in a cell phone version of the game, but I mean, if you know what the story for the console version of the game is, then you're pretty much set and ready to go for this. But trying to follow along with the story, you're gonna find yourself going, yeah, whatever. I have 5 minutes to play this. Let's go here. Come on. So you start up and in, and you have all the classic Prince of Persia, stuff that you can do in the previous ones. As the prince, you can wall climb, you can, jump off the sides of walls, you can wall run so you can get across chasms, you can climb, you can swing, you can do all sorts of things. And it's really a lot of cool stuff going on here. But the one thing that I thought was kind of even cooler was when you go to the Dark Prince. He has a whole other set of stuff that he can do. He's got his long chain whip thing that he grabs enemies and pulls them towards him and does the speed kills or whatever. And he also uses that to like grab onto the same things that the prince would use to swing around, like the poles that he would spin around on. So there's a lot of cool stuff that that really changes up the game depending on who you're playing. You're playing as the prince, you got like a whole game going there, and you're playing as the dark prince when at random intervals it does change. That starts up a whole other kind of style of play yet again. And both are very well animated. That's one of the coolest things that Gameloft, that I have to admit, is they're really good at, is it's animating this game. They did an awesome job at that. And graphically, the game looks very beautiful too on my cell phone. Even on my crappy little Motorola, this game looks really, really good. So a lot of the time you're going to find yourself running through the random Babylonian places, speed killing enemies, jumping up through the air, pulling off combos. But you're also going to find little mini games like the chariot races that are going to kind of break up the monotony of running around in this 2D level. The chariot races are actually pretty fun, if a little kind of really annoying at times, just for the fact that it's something's coming at you real quick, and all of a sudden down, up, down, up. What it reminded me of was the lava game, the lava mini game from Aladdin for the original Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. It's kind of what it reminded me of, because you can kind of follow along picking up these gems, but as like buildings or little shacks are coming at you, or you got to jump over a chasm, or other bad guys come try to flank you. You got to try and get rid of them. So a lot of fun there, and you only get 2 of those in this game, so it's not like you're doing this like every other level. One of the other things that I have to say is pretty cool about this game is the speed kills. Those are really this new style of kind of stealth killing, or you don't have to actually fight against the enemy who can block you. You just all of a sudden jump on top of them, quick speed kill. Only downside of that, and this was my biggest complaint with a few other cell phone games, and I know that cell phone games are they're not the most control sensitive games. I mean, you don't have yourself an Xbox controller sitting there, yeah, let's go, or you don't have a keyboard and mouse that you can play on. All you got is a little keypad. But the one thing that kind of bothers me is at certain times when you're watching you're coming down a rope and you jump down top of an enemy, and the prince whips out his sword, cuts up the enemy, and then lands down. Or when he jumps up, flies through the air, grabs something, swings again, grabs something else, jumps up in the air, grabs a rope, and swings over to something else. It's just animations like that feel like I'm not actually playing, because in reality I'm really not. I just kind of hit a button and let the game take care of the rest for me. Or at times I don't even have to worry about that. I just happen to do the right thing at the right time. I'm like, yeah, okay, here we go, jump. Oh, okay. 3 seconds later, I'm doing 40 other things that I'm not even having to do anything to. That's fine and dandy, but it just kind of takes away from the immersion of the game. So, I mean, overall, I'd say this game's pretty good. 9 out of 10. Stay tuned. We got more coming up after this.
This is GameSHOUT Radio, the #1 talk game station in the world. Visit GameSHOUT.com for more info. GameSHOUT. GameSHOUT.